What's up? It's Tom from the SD Lab, and I'm going to show you how I reach 1,000 prospects a day with cold email without frying domains. By the end, you'll have my exact inbox math, daily rhythm, sequence structure, and the smart lead screens I actually use. Now, most teams scale value and get smoked by spam filters. Opens don't book meetings, replies do. Deliverability first, relevance over personalization theater. Now, here are the real sends and replies. We track replies and positive replies, not vanity opens, right? And the trick is inbox pods. We have 55 mailboxes running, 35 emails per day, all tracking here, and we warm about 30 to 40 mailboxes at every time. So 1050 to 1400 emails per day can be sent out in this infrastructure. And what you want to do is you don't want to mash the gas, you want to add lanes. So 35 sends times 30 inboxes, 1050 a day, easy, safe, right? You want to also warm every inbox. You can get that right through Smart Lead now. I have mine from Maildoso at the time. We ramp caps. You can go in here and under each setting, you can set your own warm-up. So here you can see under warm-up, you can start kind of tracking and moving. You want a 2-week period. You always want to give them 2 weeks, right? And so here you can do your numbers of emails per day as far as warm-ups go. This is an exchange of emails back and forth for you to keep that box looking realistic so that it's not getting hit by Google and Microsoft. We do a daily ramp-up, number of emails per day we randomize. We do roughly about a 30% reply rate, and then we set our custom tag. And then we also do it on weekdays and weekends. So you just want to make sure you're just having to always warm, always having some exchanges, but you really want to make sure you have the capabilities to send and make sure that, everything's looking good. Right now, a few of our domains are having a few issues. So what we're doing is working on that by getting some fresh new ones implemented in here, right? But we do have some 100%. We do have some that are landing very well. And, you want to have multiple domains so one bad actor doesn't nuke the whole org, right? If any of these go down, we can always replace. You don't want to be relying on your main domain in that. So here are the real sends and replies. We track replies and positive replies, right? Not vanity opens. Most of our campaigns, we're not tracking opens at all. And again, we can send thousands of emails per day and get 23% positive reply rates here. The way you want to do that is through mailbox pods, right? We have 55 different mailboxes that we can run with that are all linked to our main, but in various variations of it, right? People aren't looking at where the email is coming from necessarily. And so in here, we have 55 mailboxes running 35 emails per day, which allows us anywhere from 1,050 to 1,400 emails per day being able to go out. And what you want to do here is you don't want to mash the gas. You just want to add lanes. 35 sends, 30 mailboxes, 1,050 emails per day, easy, safe, plenty of capabilities for you. And you really want to make sure that you are in here setting up the right things around warm-up. This is where people get way too into shortcuts. You do need to wait at least 2 to 3 weeks on your mailboxes once you activate them and get them in here. You need to warm them up, right? So you set them here. You want staggered send windows, ramp caps gradually. You want to have unique tracking domains on here. You want to adjust all of this so that way that box is sending and receiving messages and looking and establishing some credibility before you start going out and mass sending with it, which will hurt your deliverability. So multiple domains is key, so one bad actor doesn't nuke your entire organization. Now, once you have your domains, your mailboxes, the warm-up period is over. Now, what I love so much about Smart Lead is the ability to build out the copy and what's all entailed in here. And so we build around what we call the hero framework, HERO. H is for the hook, E is for empathy, R is for relevance, and O is for offer, right? So a lot of things that we do is boring, very simple subject lines. You do not need to be capitalizing. You don't need to be putting in all these numbers, anything that's going to turn them off or make it sound like it's a sales email, right? You got to realize these prospects and folks are going through their inbox, they're skimming. You need to make it look like it's from a friend, an employee. So what we do is very boring, all lowercase subject lines. We try to stick around 3 to 4 words max, just kind of depending on the relevancy of the message. And so that's the hook, boring and clear. Quick question about your SDR team. Very simple, right? Then E is empathy. Seek to understand and then be understood. Kind of empathize with their world, right? You're talking to various people within your market that you're learning from. You know what they have as far as challenges. And so empathy is a big piece of this. Saw you're spinning up 5 SDRs this quarter. You have common growing pains, right? Deliverability, shaky handoffs, kind of buy into their world, right? And then that ties into relevance. Why are you reaching out? Why does that tie in? If I'm going to be mentioning that trigger or that reason that I am reaching out to these folks in this pain and empathizing with them, I need to have the relevancy here. So, with having deliverability and inconsistent handoffs, we run smartly, right? 35 inboxes across 30, 40 inboxes here. We can scale without torching domains, worth a quick look. And then now my offer, right? My offer is I have copy that is short, contextual, 3 touches max. Mind if I send it over to you as you're ramping up new SDRs, right? And you can see here, we have variables. You want to be shaking up your subject lines so you can then change up in different ways, right? This is what I love about this is there's a thing called spin tax. It is such a secret that most people don't realize because you're able to kind of randomize your subject lines and your copy. So in here, we can put in a couple different subject lines. And when I hit preview, now it's going to just pick one and it's going to randomize that. So not every message looks like it's, mass sending and all the same message to everyone. It'll kind of rotate and switch that. You can also do that within a copy of the email. I can switch all of this around by putting in this spin tax and then it will formulate the message. And you can kind of see that in one of these that I've done. There was one, gosh, I don't even remember where it is, y'all. But we had one where we did it's not any of these, is it? So it's a good thing to do. I don't have an example that I can see here that we used it. Nope. I thought I might have had one for y'all so I could show you. But you can go in here and spin tax, randomize the message a little bit. It'll change up the variety of the message. So I could change these words around to where structure, messaging, and live coaching could be actually rotated through here. And then so that way every time it's, just structure, messaging, and live coaching, but it could be just live coaching, structure, and messaging, right? So all of that is there. The other key thing you want to focus on too in looking at some of these sequences is 3 touches. Everybody always asks how many emails to send out. The reality is you want 3 or less, right? If it's a fit, it happens fast. If not, we exit with grace, right? We're not breaking up. We're just putting a pin in it. I can always recircle back with them, start up another campaign to them, but 3 is going to be your sweet spot. And you can always come back and maybe add 4 or 5 if you need to, but we've seen a lot of success in just getting in and out in 3. It protects our deliverability. By around email 4 and 5, you start getting hit with people marking you as spam, right? Or bad responses, and it's just going to hurt you. So, 3 touches max. You can see here, very quick, very simple, 50 to 70 words. We've got some variables in here for first name, company name, number of SDRs. So when I pull data, what I love about this is you can literally make anything a variable in Smartly. It just depends on when you import your CSV with folks, what columns and what data you have, then you can make those variables and pull from it. I had a client where we were doing some marketing campaigns for them and they had very unique survey links for every recipient. They uploaded that in the CSV thread. We were able to link that then in the body of the email. So everybody's unique survey link went directly to them and was matched up. Very, very cool stuff you can do in here. So you want to have 3 touches max, spin tax on subject and body so you can rotate through that. And then you just want to have your sending caps, right? All your stuff on here to be set to where you're sending 35 emails a day. Your inbox and timing space is out there. So once you go here, you can start actually modifying the settings here. Reply to a message, right? Distribution here, pattern-based. Don't track email opens or clicks, right? And you can go through here and kind of set all of this up to ensure that these things are hitting. So we set that up. We choose our sender accounts. We schedule the campaign. You want to make sure you're maxing the number of new leads. You'll start getting a bottleneck there. And then you'll have an email sent out, right? It'll show you. We have an email going out every 20 minutes. Kind of spacing it out. We're only sending 35 emails out of that inbox for the whole day. So it doesn't need to be, super fast. And it kind of makes it look human that it's being handwritten emails there. So just remember on the copy side, once you got the domains warmed up, you've got everything teed up, you start going into your copy, short subject lines, as boring as possible, leverage some spin tax to refresh that copy, make the copy all around the hook, the empathy, the relevancy, and the offer. If you can remember the hero framework, you're reaching out with intent, you're trying to be the hero to their story. I always call it Alfred to Batman. How can we be Alfred to their Batman, right? And help them tackle their villains. So in that campaign, you can really build around that framework. And remember, personalization, it'll get the attention potentially, but relevancy is what's going to drive your replies. That's what people focus on. That's where it's at. If you're going to bring in their cat, their dog, their school, you're going to target people all from one school and bring it up, just making sure it ties into the message. Don't be mentioning it just for the sake of mentioning it. Relevancy is going to get you those positive replies, like what we've seen here, with about a 23% positive reply, right? And then getting some replies in general from our campaigns. And then just don't track opens, really useless on that end. And now, once you start getting the copy dialed in, your email boxes are warmed up, you can now start managing and kind of leveraging the data that you're gonna get from SmartLead, which is a big help, right? So just as far as our daily rhythm and how we dive into SmartLead every day, in the morning, we spend about 5 minutes, right? In there, we're looking at health checks, right? We come in here, we're looking at our email accounts, making sure, okay, we have 4 where we need to fix. They've gotten bounced out, they need some attention, right? Start looking at some of these bounces, warm up, any reputation dips on there. And then, we make sure that's all live. Then around the midday, we jump into just kind of looking at the master campaign as a whole, kind of see what the performance is looking like for the day. You can see here per day. What's really cool is it'll show you your projection as when the next send will be. But we start looking in here for tweaking lanes, add or remove an inbox pod that we've uploaded, iterate copy if reply quality starts dipping. We'll kind of be on this. You have to stay on top of it. Not as much as you think, but you should be just checking it, making sure things are moving accordingly, performance is where you need it to be. And if copy really isn't going at the way that you want after the first couple hundred sends, well then clearly fix it, right? Dive in there, let the next batch go with maybe an A/B test, right? We've done that in some of our campaigns, right? We have multiple iterations that we've come in and changed, right? So we have one here, we have another one that we went with, right? We've went up to 5, we kind of changed that variant. We wait 3 days, we send another one, right? And we just kind of keep an eye on this stuff because you need to. This is how you're going to really be able to dial this system in, find what frameworks are working, which responses are happening. You can really see down in here. This is what I love is a sequence breakup. It'll kind of tell you as you run through your variants, right, where we're at, which one is performing with the most replied and most positive reply, right? You can see this one and this one, about 40% positive reply. Email 2, we obviously need to look at. It clearly is email A. We probably could do away with the other ones because they're not getting those positive replies. So you can look at that, right? And then in the afternoon, we're going through our inbox. So then in the afternoon, after we went through the midday, we're also tracking this. And this is cool too because it automatically flags, lets you know, wrong person, interested, not interested, right? Pops up right here. Lead category will usually be categorized by the AI that you set up. If not, you can kind of put in your own, but it'll start then running that for you. And they do now have just rolled out the reply agent. This thing's sweet. You can actually build and do a whole bunch of stuff now in incoming email detection, context-aware drafting. It's going to set all of that up for you, which is very, very cool, to where you might not have to be doing this as much, but very simple enough. We get some cool replies here, right? Interested, I hit reply, takes it from that mailbox I used, by the way. So you can see here, if you're using multiple inboxes, you don't have to worry about that. It will show you. And then you can go and know which one it's coming from and which one won that, right? So here I hit reply, it might be this one, right? Different mailbox. So that reply is going to stick with that. You don't have to rotate. So you've got categories, you've got rules, you can reply within hours, not days within this system. It's very simple to manage. Reps can use it, leaders can use it. If you're a founder out there trying to push your offer and services, I've set up a few folks on this to be able to allow them to kind of amplify what they're doing. Because if you're just relying on your main domain and one mailbox, I mean, how much damage can you really do? When you have an opportunity to, like I said, I've got 50 mailboxes doing 35 emails a day. I can send out almost 1,700 emails in one swoop cleanly, and then get those replies, right? Get that 2 to 5% reply, and within that, get that, 10 to 15% positive reply in there. And their mailbox makes it just so easy to see. I can scroll through here, and as soon as I see green ones, I'm good, right? Here's a prime example. Got an out of office there. It automatically flags it, pauses that campaign until they come back. Here's another one, right? So it flags all of that for you so you can see it right in your mailbox, and it's all color coordinated, so you can just kind of skim through, find those interested, and go right from there. So very cool stuff on this side as well. So now that you have the domains good, your copy's dialed in, now what's kind of the daily rhythm, right? What do I need to keep an eye on? How do I navigate once the campaign starts rolling, right? So for me and my team, every morning we spend about 5 minutes in the master inbox doing some tweaking, looking at copy, looking at what responses that we've gotten back, right? But we'll normally hop in here first and just kind of look at some health checks on the email accounts. First and foremost, when you come into the day, just kind of look at where your reputation is at, making sure things are in a good spot. 100%, right? You want those greens, those nice little buckets in there. From there, making sure your bounces, your warm-ups, any reputation dips, right? You can click on your current campaign, and within there, right, kind of get an idea. You can see here, it'll kind of show you where you're at, right? What bounces are coming through, where you're kind of having some issues in different mailboxes. So you can make sure, right, how many are between 70, 90. You just want to make sure things are healthy. Then you want to jump into your campaign and just adjust any type of sequencing you need to. For us, we have a couple different variations we've ran in real time, just kind of seeing after a couple hundred go out, if we're not getting any engagement or replies, we're adjusting on the fly. You want to do this quickly. That's where people miss. You just need a couple hundred to go out for you to get kind of a decent idea on, are people replying? We don't track opens. Who cares about an open, right? The idea is, are they replying? Is this message enough to start a conversation, right? As we said, personalization gets attention, but relevancy will drive those replies. Is your messaging hitting accordingly? If not, revamp it, right? Play with it, run a couple variations, see what's going on. We have a couple running on different ones. And then from there, you're going to start kind of understanding right here, what's working, right? So we could see in email 1 out of our variations, number 1 is the best one with about 41%. And so is email B, where if you look at email 2, we don't need to run all those variations. We can cut those, right? They're not performing the way that we want them to. So tweak lanes, add or remove any inbox pods that aren't really working out, iterate copy if the reply quality starts dripping. Then in afternoon, you can start tracking your master inbox and kind of seeing where messages are coming from. And this is what I love about SmartLead is it's all in one spot. So I can click here, I see the thread, I can reply, and it's going to come from the email that originally they responded on. So if you've got multiple inboxes, you don't even have to worry about it. If it's sending from one, it'll come right back from me, and I can write right back to her, right? Right within here. So you can also just start tagging things to navigate. The AI will do it for you. A lot of this is all done by the AI. If it's an interested response, not interested, wrong person. If it's out of office, you can pause this. And now, as you see here, they just rolled out their new reply agent. They will AI and automate it now. So you can have incoming email detected. They'll context-aware drafting. It's going to use lead details, past replies, campaign history, and then you get a chance to approve it, modify it, or rewrite it before it's even sent. So very cool. We'll even make your day even easier. You can program that, kind of then just hop in here, go from there. You can assign leads to team members. You can archive, snooze the lead, right? And then you can put in the right lead category. So again, just scan it. Very simple to go through, see who's interested, not interested, right? Here's an out of office. Here's an out of office. It'll flag it for you. So you don't even got to worry about it on that end. So again, just a lot of functionality within this backend to make it very easy for you to get good copy, get good domains and mailboxes, and then start navigating as those replies start coming through. And once you kind of nail all those ingredients, you're now starting to manage your replies, taking an eye at your copy. You can then start seeing, right, I've had 7,000 leads contacted, about a 1% reply rate on there. But of the replies, 23% of them were positive, right? Leading to outcomes for us. So it's a real good opportunity. And it's not flashy by any means, but one in four replies are real conversations. And that's the goal of email. Get conversations going. Don't pitch your product immediately. Have conversations, very soft CTAs, worth a look at. Can I send you over a video that goes in more detail? Things that they can say yes and no to very quickly to then open that door for you. You do not need to blow your load all in your first email and have some novel written. Very simple. Again, hook, empathy, relevance, offer. Very, very simple. And once you get your deliverability engine, plus the human copy, plus it's really about your deliverability and human copy over brute force, right? You don't need to brute force your way. There's no need to be mass. Again, we're sending 35 emails a day. We don't even use all that capability on a day-to-day basis, but it does allow us to reach people once we see success in certain campaigns to then pour the gasoline on that lane and keep it running smoothly, right? With this campaign right now, we're seeing a 23% positive reply rate. We've tapped into something and it's working in our favor as of now. So just to recap for you, right? To hit 1,000 emails a day, warm pods, 35 sends per inbox, about 30 to 40 inboxes to get started. Very boring subject lines, 3 touches, soft CTA, measure positive replies. Do not worry about your opens. SmartLead for me is my scaffolding, mailbox control, analytics, clean sequences, reply workflow. If you are looking to scale safely before Q4, test this setup. The link's below. I'll drop my 3-touch template and inbox math in the description. Appreciate you.